Welcome back to another episode of the Teacher Surgery. Let's go! All right, so welcome back to season 9. All right, and so today we're going to talk about. Well, it's been brought to our attention that there's a concern about what some of the young ladies, the young girls, are wearing to school. So, for example,
is that teachers or students?
The students.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what the young students, the young girl students, right, are wearing to school. So extremely short skirts, weaves, eyelashes, makeup, right? Now,
sounds about right.
Is this a cause for concern? And is this an area in modern day school teaching where they need to have a policy surrounding it? Or is it, let people exercise their freedom and of expression? What are we doing about it?
Quite an interesting one. What do you want to go for?
Amber, go. Okay. I was trying to be polite, Definitely, I think it's a cause for concern because it's become a distraction. That's my focus on it. Young girls are so distracted by their appearance. I find that from experience that now as well, when I'm teaching them in a classroom, that they're more concerned about how they look rather than what they're meant to be studying at the time. And it's just, it's like their focus, their aspirational goals have just become completely, the word, it's fragmented. That's the only word I can think of. Yeah.
I would say there's a lot of pressure on the teenagers these days. Doesn't mean to say that the way they're going on in school is right, like with the eyelashes, with the nails, when I was growing up, we didn't have nothing like that, and my take on it is I just would love if these girls would appreciate themselves, like
self-love, right?
But you guys are being unfair, right? And the reason why you're being unfair is because school is a microcosm of the macrocosm that is real life, right?
Hey,
and in reality,
you're blowing grammar today.
in real, are we not as teachers now? You know, guys, listen. No, but in real life, right? What I mean by that is school is a reflection of the wider society, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And in real life, are adults not becoming over obsessed? Are adult women not in general becoming over obsessed with how they look? We see Instagram, we see people looking 10, fleet. We see the higher levels of BBLs.
So your daughter wants to go to school,
no, but Amber,
and she puts on some very short shorts at the size of a belt, wears a weave with all these edges and everything.
Yeah.
Don't have any education, like her grades are on 2s and 1s and U's. But are you gonna be silent? I'm just curious. Are you going to be silent, or are you going to say, "What are you doing as a parent?" I can't wait to hear it.
Come back, right? How can I tell my daughter not to do that if I ask my wife? She says, "Don't police me." If I tell my wife not to be obsessed with her weave and her eyelashes, how can I tell my daughter not to do that if the adult women are setting an example? If the adult every time, right? Men talk about women's bodies and what they do. We've been told not to do that, right? Yeah. So how can we tell a young women
who told you not to do that
if the big women are doing that, right? How can we? They're just copying what the big women do.
But there's a line to it.
They're
still kids.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? And if anything,
it's just like when you say children shouldn't swear.
Or the adult whoever telling them not to do it, school policy, whatever,
is a double standard.
No, but it's for their own.
And how many double standards out there? Don't drink alcohol because you're not an adult.
Okay, so do as I say, not as I do, right? Does that work?
But for example, in where I work, for example, kids, they're not allowed nails, they're not allowed lashes. The skirts have to be a decent length, stuff like that. If they're caught with these things, they do get sanctioned. But unfortunately,
it's getting out of hand.
Because there's a high number of it now.
It's getting out of hand.
So many kids are getting away with it. Another thing my school is doing now is they're locking the toilets.
Yeah, we lock the toilets. We even have a corridor policy where if you need the toilet, no, we lock it. Because they're just going in there to sit.
No, but wait, if the kid needs a toilet, then they send a message to a member of SLT.
And they get escorted to the toilet and then they come. Because they're vaping in the toilets as well. There's too much going on.
But
you need to send an email to go to the toilet.
Even though...
Because the children are abusing what you think should be their given right because they're seeing adults do it. You hear what you're saying now?
I don't know if it happens in your school, but even though they lock the toilets, the girls still come to the classroom. Oh my God, it winds me up. With their mirrors.
Yeah.
Do their lashes.
Yeah.
And put their lips.
Well, you know why they're doing that?
They're trying, then I confiscate it and take it home.
Use directly. I'm not atting any of you ladies, right? But if their teachers come in with their hair done and the nails done and the eyelashes done,
one that has a
and
degree,
then you
right?
expect the young girls looking at them and say,
Don't police
just
me.
come back.
No. But you
That's
messed up
unfair.
right there. You messed up right there, though. You messed up right there because
Then you
you just
can't do that.
compared a child with a teacher, right? But the thing that you missed is that the teacher is qualified. The teacher has gone through the same thing that child has gone through historically, where they couldn't wear their makeup, they couldn't wear their eyelashes, they couldn't wear pom-pom shorts, they couldn't have weave on. They had to go into school and do it the same way. So follow as we did. We had to do the same thing. So now it's passed on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Go on.
also what I would like to say then is there should be some sort of line as to children's clothing and what's adult clothing. Yeah. And I think if we're going to let kids start, because, you know, if you're letting a child come into school with a mini skirt, lashes, fake, then what is the difference between, you know, that's
an adult
and
and a
an
young
adult
girl.
clothing.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is as well is
There's also tacky clothing.
why as a parent are you allowing your child to dress like an adult? Because we are complaining that children are being adults, you know, they've been seen as adults. So when the police see, especially our black kids, when they see a 12-year-old black boy, it's been proven that when they see a 12-year-old black boy,
look at them
they see a
as
12-year-old white boy, they see that black boy as an adult. So again,
it happens
the same
to young black girls as well.
Yeah.
And same with young black girls. So I think this whole notion of the extremities. Now, I would then still say, though, I do think and I understand that if you're a kid whose hair doesn't grow, you know, and you're a girl and you don't have, you know, your hair doesn't grow, and maybe that girl feels more comfortable to have braids. So I can understand like the braids. I can understand.
But a whole frontal is just too extreme.
I just think that some things are extreme.
Let me give the analogy, right? And this is slightly different, right? But it's like those of us that have got immigrant parents, right? That have had this experience. I know if you've got immigrant parents, you've had this experience, right? You want to buy Nikes and your dad tells you, why am I spending Nike money on this when there's shoes on, right? And the peer pressure.
I think you shouldn't say immigrants because it depends. Because I didn't have that. Okay, it depends on different parents.
I think it's not immigrant parents. It's just it's one that I find common in immigrant people that come from immigrant households where their parents haven't caught up with the normalized hyper-materialism of society around them, right? And so therefore the message is normalized of, in order to fit in, you need to have £100 Nikes on, right?
Yeah.
You need to have the Air Max 90s,
You need to have a frontal.
this, that, all of that. And then so therefore, the peer pressure was so high for me to wear these clothes, and my dad couldn't fathom. He's like, "Why am I? You're a young boy. You don't need to wear these expensive
It's not
trainers. You're just
necessary,
gonna play football in it." And he's right.
You're gonna mash
but
it up.
that's what we're doing. We're saying to these young girls, "You're a young girl. You don't need £300 weave." But society as a whole has become hyper fixated on the way women look at themselves and the way they look and their appearance. And now we're telling the girls that, no, you don't need to do that because you're a young girl. But we understand the peer pressure that comes with that. That starts off with adults.
See, I'm going to
and
interject
it's the women
there.
in a society that are doing it as well.
The thing that frustrates me really then, if you're saying that, is I could say it's not so much how they look, right? The thing that irritates me the most is when a child comes to school, they have a weave on, a frontal, full on frontal, edges for days, literally lipstick, mascara, eyelashes, short skirts, like no pen.
The short skirt
Wait, hold on. No pen,
That's true.
no book.
No equipment.
If we're asking them to start writing on the book or copy from the board, that you have to say to them, hello, write the date. Hello. I have to keep pushing and prompting the child verbally to get some work done in the lesson. But if I said, let's go buy a new frontal now, she'd be ready, good to go. That's the bit that irritates me because it's the focus, is where their mindset is right now. It's completely switched off from
honestly
aspirations.
Think there just needs to be a lot more education around those things. Do you know what I mean? Like, learn how to love yourself.
Yes, that's right.
But I see what you're saying about the fact that they're watching adults not love themselves.
I've seen people but that's exactly that's seen. I've
Follow.
seen people become offended by that.
He's saying when you're saying learn how to love yourself, it's hard for correct me if I'm wrong, he's saying it's hard for a child to learn how to love themselves if the person who's standing right in front of them has got a full-on frontal and full-on nails. It's difficult.
But
And
like,
in society in
Yeah,
general.
all over media, all over Instagram. Even girls who have lots of hair are still, I get a weave. It's been a long time. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they find it hard to not do it if we're the ones that are doing it.
I'll be honest. I think a bit like Nasha's notion. I don't really have a problem with the hair bit per se. Yeah. My problem is the lashes. Yeah. That lashes thing, I can't stand.
How do you even wash your face
my
properly?
daughter,
Sorry.
Honestly. I'm always voice noting my other friend because it drives me crazy. I don't like spiders.
Yes.
Every time I think it's a spider, I'm stepping in my washing machine, eyelashes.
But how old's your daughter again now? How old's your daughter now?
17, so she's
okay.
The
Yeah, she's in the norm.
lovely girl,
Facts.
beautiful girl.
Yeah, she's lovely.
But the eyelashes, I can't. The thing is, she does it moderate. She don't do.
Yeah. But you just don't like it at all.
So it's irritating.
I just find this so
it's
interesting.
so abnormal to you, right?
As a man in society, right, that I've had conversations on social media platforms, and the message that we're getting told from the majority of women is like, in 2026, right, in this modern days, don't police us. What we wear is not representation of our values. It's not representation. I could be the most educated, self-loving woman. Don't judge me because I want to express myself in this stuff, right? So if that's the empowerment message that we're giving in society, how can we take it away from young girls?
He's just said modern. You're just saying the modern thing right now. He's actually talking about
modernism versus traditionalism, and that's where the crossroad is. Now, don't get me wrong. For everyone listening, where I would draw the line is as young ladies, don't be wearing the hot pants and short skirts and stuff like that. That is inappropriate, and that's always. I'm never going to agree with that, right? But again, at the same time, when it comes to them, where don't get me wrong. Would I want to answer your question that you first asked me, right?
We're not bringing in your wife.
If I had a daughter, if my daughter was doing these things, then it will be I'll become a full circle moment where I'll become just like how my dad gave in to peer pressure, to my peer pressure, where it's like, it doesn't make sense, but I understand the system you're in, right? And I'm
going to allow it. Is that what you're going to say?
Not that I'll allow it, but I'll understand it. I'll be a little bit more understandable to it, because at the end of the day, we know what that child looks like when they don't fit in.
I need to know what you're going to say. Hold on. I still need to know, what are you going to say to your child when she puts that stuff on and is ready to walk the streets with them pom-pom shorts on?
Hopefully the groundwork would have been done before that. Do you understand?
But God forbid, we don't even want that happening. But
no,
if
Amber,
what will you say? Go and get changed.
Even with the eyelashes
get that
thing,
off.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So all I can do as a parent is encourage her to stop. Like I tell my daughter, you have.
It's a bit of a struggle though, because your daughter's 17, right?
Yeah.
Now let's look at your younger daughter. If she's in secondary school, will you be? I'm sure Bola now. You be the one to say, where to be this now?
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on today.
Because obviously, and the thing is, when as a man, sorry, I know it's ladies. I'm
no,
no, but the thing is, we're told like.
Don't police us.
This is patriarchy, misogyny. Anytime you start telling women what to wear and how to express themselves,
and I don't agree with that.
Where is the line between now? Society tells us not to tell that to women, but then the young girls are emulating the freedoms that we are saying that women and empowerment that women are being told to have. Right?
Do you know, truthfully, if I wore something and my husband didn't feel comfortable with me wearing it, I would consider changing it. I would never ever, because at the end of the day, I'm a representation of my husband. Do you understand? And I actually understand what you're saying, that I don't actually like this whole policing thing of, if you don't find something comfortable with your friend or whoever you're with, I think you should be able to say it. And it shouldn't be a policing.
The main issue is they've made these things very affordable for the teenagers, for the young girls.
Oh my God.
You can go to Primark and get it for 50p. You can go to Shein
and when you look at the outfits,
I thought they're like £300 weaves.
No, I'm talking about eyelashes, things like
AliExpress.
Weaves, you
can even get it for cheap.
So that's why kids are able to afford to buy, because when I was growing up, she would know. Those things weren't about because they were so expensive.
Even the clothing, they literally mimic what the adults are wearing in the clothing. You have to be like, what the hell?
For the my young daughter could wear what the adults wear.
Same with my daughter.
So actually, I went to, because like I always talk about me having that dual school like experience. But when I was in my school in Chinkford, I remember like all the girls, you know, maybe a lot because my school was predominantly white. There was only a few of us black, but they all used to have lipstick, mascara, makeup, everything. And I remember one day I just decided, oh yeah, I'm going to try it, you know. And I what I would do is then I'd know that when I'm going home, just quickly wipe it off. I don't know for the life of me. My mum got home before I could.
She knew what was going on. She knew what was going on.
So you get catch.
And she went like literally ballistic.
So what was it that you had on?
I had lipstick on.
Oh, okay.
Right,
And
so
my mum was like,
this is the last 30 seconds.
yeah,
by the way,
and so, but then when I was in Zim, you know, the school was so strict, so we were allowed to have like any hairstyle, to be fair, but we weren't allowed obviously to wear makeup and stuff like that, and everyone just was okay with that. So I think I do understand, like, it's not like this is new. That's what I'm basically saying.
Yeah.
There has always been, you know, people would maybe with their hair, with lip gloss. I remember like loads of people used to be putting
lip gloss
to make it look like lipstick.
Last word, Amber. Last word.
I know it's my last word, but I actually think Bola should say her version as well. Because you know how you just said when you were younger, what happened? I'm just going to say when I was younger, I remember when I put Vaseline on my eyelids. And listen, I got in the car with just Vaseline on. My mum would turn around and said to me, you better get in the house now and get that off. What do you think you're wearing? Get that off now. You think you're a big woman? And I went in the house and took it off. I was not allowed to wear makeup. God, never. Not even mascara. What was that for you?
To be honest, I was a very good girl, as you can tell.
So you just didn't...
The most I used to do was get my eyebrows plucked. But it got, like, in my day, we were ridiculous with it. It started getting so thin.
Yeah.
I would do it so much. That was, like, the fashion. My mum, she didn't.
Okay.
But like lipstick or anything?
But no, I was a Vaseline girl, you know.
Imagine I wanted to put Vaseline on my eyelids. My mum told me to take it off.
Well, there you have it. My thing is change. I think that it's society, man, and the kids are following society, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that does wrap up another episode of the Teacher's Surgery. Let's go. Don't forget to follow, like, share all the usual stuff. And until next time, all right.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you.